So it's kind of like, is that it? I think that's it. Today, I'm in South Texas with my friend Nathaniel to do some filming and guiding at the Rio Grande Valley Birding Festival. We arrived the day before the festivities started to do some birding on our own, with some specific targets in mind, including a rare Golden-crowned Warbler that was seen at Hugh Ramsay Nature Park. After arriving at the Harlingen Airport, it was a short drive to the park, where we aimed to get a view of the warbler before the sun set. We're here at Hugh Ramsay, and right away we had some chachalakas, and these are like the tamest ones I've ever seen. They're coming right up to us. I don't know if people feed them, but they're just being goofy and quirky. And then there was some Inca doves and then a green jay that flew by, so already tons of activity here. After watching the antics of the goofy chachalakas, we headed to the cypress pond, where the Golden-crowned Warbler had been previously reported. With it being Nathaniel's first time in the valley, he also started racking up life birds. Lifer gray kiskadee.
Awesome. Beautiful bird.
It's like a whirlwind lifer
It is.
experience right now. We walked around the pond, listening for the ticking vocalization of the warbler. After a while, one of the great kiskadees started being very vocal, which led us to investigate. Seemingly agitated at the kiskadee was a small yellow and gray bird that turned out to be our lifer Golden-crowned Warbler. We got the warbler. It came out for just a little bit in the open. It was mostly behind the branches and stuff, but it seemed really annoyed with these kiskadees. So we saw it for a little bit, and then it kind of flew back in a shrubby brush, so we're waiting to see if it'll come back out. There's also a javelina that was rooting around, and then I think we accidentally kind of snuck up on it, and then it realized we were there and ran into the woods, but awesome, we got the warbler. We kept searching the area in hopes that the warbler would come back out, but it never returned. Warbler did not come back out, so we started heading back, picked up a long-billed thrasher on the way out, but I think we're going to try again tomorrow to see if we can get some more views. That does seem to be kind of how South Texas is sometimes. You'll just get a real fleeting glimpse, and that's all you'll get, and you kind of just have to be like, well, I'm glad at least I got something. So we'll see if we can do better, but at least glad we got a glimpse of it. The next day, we stopped at Hugh Ramsay again in the morning, and got some more brief looks at the Golden-crowned Warbler, but sadly, they were again very fleeting. Afterwards, we headed out to look for one of my South Texas nemesis birds. We're now going to make our way to Laguna Atascosa to look for a tropical perula. This thing has been a nemesis bird of mine since our last trip to Texas that me and Ryan took. So hopefully we'll be able to see it today, but I'm sure it'll be kind of difficult to find. Stop for a quick look at Nathaniel's lifer Harris's hawk. Really nice color on this one. Can definitely appreciate that.
Life.
We continued on, and eventually arrived at Laguna Atascosa. I'm ready to face down my nemesis bird, the tropical perula, today. We got to Laguna Atascosa, had to get some obligatory green jay views, which was Nathaniel's lifer, and then, saw some of the other stuff like the grackles, but now we're going to walk this trail looking for mixed flocks. Then we're going to try to pick out I think it's like one tropical perula mixed in. We walked around the trails, spotting some interesting species such as olive sparrows and an indigo bunting, and running into one mixed flock that didn't yield our target bird. Eventually, we ran into a birder who said he saw a perula, and we got eyes on the bird high up in a tree, and it seemed like it might just be my South Texas nemesis bird. I'm pretty sure we got the perula. It's been a real team effort here. We walked around the Kiskadee Trail like 3 times with nothing, but we met a couple other birders along the way also looking, so we've just been kind of like, communicating if we saw something that looked probable, and eventually we tracked one down, trying to get better views of it. It's been very difficult. We tried tracking down the same bird, but it never made an appearance for us again. As of now, the perula has not made a reappearance, and I will say, seeing it, it was almost like a disbelief, but it's also trying really hard to confirm the idea, because there are hybrids and regular northern perulas in here, so it's kind of like, is that it? I think that's it. And then trying to get everyone over too to get a view as well. In the moment, it looked like a true tropical perula, but after a lot of deliberation and looking at the photos, the amount of white near the face made me think it was most likely a northern tropical perula hybrid, making me want looks at a pure bird before officially counting it on my life list. Afterwards, we made a quick stop to see 2 American flamingos that were hanging out in some water, and then got word that another rare bird we wanted to see had just been spotted. We did get some really distant views of the flamingos. One of the birders let us check out them through the scope, and that helped kind of pinpoint where they are. But we got word that there's a blue bunting at Resaca, a nice male. So I think we kind of have to drop everything and go try to get that as soon as we can. We arrived at Resaca de la Palma, excited at the possibility of seeing the blue bunting. However, once we arrived, it seemed like it would be harder to find than we originally thought. So now that we're here, this seems like it's going to be a lot more difficult. It's like pretty quiet as far as bird activity goes. There's some green jay, clay-colored thrush making some noise, but otherwise pretty quiet. And it really could have gone anywhere, so we kind of feel like it needs to vocalize if we're going to be able to narrow down where it is, because the vegetation is just so thick. So I was hoping this would kind of be, we'd show up and it would be like just hopping around on the open, but like that's rarely how it goes. While looking for the bunting, we got word of another rare bird in the area. We did not have any luck on the bunting, but some other birders told us about a roadside hawk they saw on this road, so we are just going to walk it and see if we can re-find that, because that would be a pretty awesome bird. After not having any luck on either bird, we got some food and then went back to Resaca, immediately having some better luck. Back at Resaca after getting some food, talked to another birder who said apparently the blue buntings are notoriously really hard to find unless they're at a feeder, so that sounds like it's going to be tough. So they're keeping an eye out for the roadside hawk, but we did get Nathaniel's lifer Couch's kingbird, so that's a plus for us. We enjoyed our views of the kingbird, and eventually the roadside hawk popped out into the open, drawing a crowd and enthusiasm from many birders.
Oh, that's so hype. Oh my gosh.
Ryan, how pumped are you right now?
Oh, dude, I'm so freaking pumped.
Was here when we were here.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's unreal, man.
Roadside hawks are normally found from Mexico down through Central and South America, making it a big deal that one showed up in South Texas. That was awesome. We got the roadside hawk. Kind of a bigger group of people kind of showed up, and it actually just flew right up into a tree. Then it flew into another tree. Everyone was super stoked about it. It's like one of those moments where it's like just everyone's happy and everyone got a nice view of the bird. So I'm glad that turned out the way it did, even though we didn't get the blue bunting. Got to see a nice roadside hawk. Excited about our views, we decided to head out and call it a day. You never know what South Texas might bring. From rare warblers to hybrid perulas and unexpected hawks, it's always fun to bird in the Rio Grande Valley. Have you ever been here before? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.